So if you were watching this morning, you would have seen this little timer in the corner here, 6 minutes 18, live announcement next. So 6 minutes 18, so we're at 2:21. So if we go to like what, 8:40, it should be right there. Yeah, about there. Okay, yep, cool. Ooh, 2, 1. Ads for CrossFit. Okay, 13 minutes, 24, 25, 30 minutes. At 31 minutes,
I think it depends on
Matty Fraser will tell us that he's going to tell us the workout 30 minutes later.
All right. Open workout 22.2 is 4 time, a couplet of deadlifts, and well, everyone loves bar-facing burpees. Starting at 1 rep each, add 1 rep per round until you reach 10 reps for each movement. Then return back down the ladder to 1. There's a 10-minute time cap. One, it could be a trap.
Enough of Matt Fraser's thoughts. All right, so for 22.1, Chuck here has some great advice. So if you don't know Chuck Carswell, he's been around since day dot. He's wearing that red shirt because he teaches seminars. I think Chuck was one of the first people to go through and get a CrossFit level 4, which means they tell you that it's all based on alien science fiction. Anyway, if you listen to his whole thing, the big takeaway I got was break up the deadlifts earlier than you might think. I think the example he gives is for the round of 7s, he might do 4 and 3. Well, if you look at Chuck, he's like, what, 100 kilos of beef? So I'm going to start breaking up in the 5s. I'm going to do 3 and 2, which might sound like, bruh, it's 5. Oh, and he's also talking about doing much chilled burpees. So doing the, well, there you go, his crawl version burpees. So, I'd be doing the step outs from the beginning. I don't want to have to try and calculate in my brain how to do 4 different varieties of burpees over the 10 minutes that I will definitely be doing this workout for. Oh, it's the Erosti guy. So he's going to show us the man, the Boz. The Boz and the Monster Drink Hydro in... Oh, I think this might be like the Rogue place where they did the Rogue Invitational. Right, note the starting positions. You have to start end on your bar, facing into your bar. Honestly, I think this is just to stop false starts. Obviously, in this environment, they would just shut you down. But at gyms everywhere, it shows 3, 2, 1, hands on bar, go. So I think that's what that might be about. And it'll be really easy for the people looking at videos to tell if the person was hands on the bar early because their hands won't be on the bar early. Yeah, I think we'll all go and do that. After you do one bar face burpee, you'll just immediately go to do another one because, like, when do you ever do one bar face burpee? The setup for the gym will be pretty straightforward. See this white line they've got running down the middle of the barbell? So each time they go down, they'll have a foot and a hand on each side of the line. You also have to keep both your feet and hands inside the barriers set by your plates. So I understand if you want to get a bit picky on where you set up in the gym, because I know the gym has a couple of roly-poly spots. Generally, if you set up further towards the bike end of the gym, there's less chance of your bar moving around on you. Because obviously, if your bar ends up on a 45-degree angle, you have a pain in the... Oh yeah, and on the jumps there. So they say this was a rule last year. Maybe it was, I don't remember. When you jump over the thing, you don't have to do a 2-foot takeoff or a 2-foot landing. But both your feet need to be off the air as you, the person, pass over the barbell. I don't think there's a massive advantage to be gained here, but I do think... Well, if you're going to do these quick Laura Horvath ones, I'm not doing that. You can see that her feet take off one at a time. Now, I don't know if you can hear them in the background there, but with all their knowledge of not doing the workout, they're saying that round 7 will be the spicy one. So I've actually done a little demo version of this workout, and I'll play that clip in a minute. But yeah, I as planned, I broke up from the 5s, and I can't see any reason to try and hold on for the 5s. And on the way down, I'll definitely... and did break up the 4s. Alright, so let's give this a skim like we did last week. So, if you're unfamiliar, it is, what's that, I think it's 19 rounds of the deadlifts and the bar face burpee. So you start standing by your deadlift bar, then you do 1 deadlift, 1 burpee, 2 deadlift, 2 burpee, 3 deadlift, 3, and so on and so on. If we scroll over this side, on the other side here, they've got their conversions, so they're not always like exact. They might be a little bit different. So like for the guys, we normally do 135 pound into 61.5 kilos, but they're saying that 61 kilos is fine. That's only relevant, I think, for scaled div is 61 kilos and scaled div is 43 kilos for the 95 pounder. But sorry, where are we going? For the 155 pound, it's 70 kegs on the button, and for the dudes, it's 102. And the only other scale thing to note is if you're doing the scale version, you can step over the bar. And you can step over in Masters, but only in Masters 55 and plus. Prior to starting the thing, the athlete will need to mark that long. So we mentioned that line down the middle, and I think it'll probably give us more information when we get down to the layout here. Don't forget your camera. So you have the tape line, you got to start there, and as those bars move around, like it's deadlift, they won't move hugely. But just get in the habit of maybe even marking like, hey, this is where my bar's to stay. There is a rule in here somewhere too that no one else can move your bar. So if you're just a maniac and stuff's flying everywhere, well, that's your problem. And I'm going to interpret the way they've written it as you, because it says you can't assist someone with their barbell. So I'm going to say that means you can't put the clips back on. So, you drop it a few times, the clips get loose. So that's going to be on you too. If you need to adjust your clips, that's your business. Now, let's see if there's anything funky here for the deadlift. Start on the ground, collars. Yep, standard stuff. Yeah, just no sumos allowed there. Rep is credited when the athlete hips and knees reach full extension. Now, this came up a few times in class yesterday because we were doing some deadlifts, just getting ready for this workout, obviously. But when you get to the top of that movement, make sure your emphasis is on squeezing your butt cheeks and not on pushing your hips forward. But make sure you're squeezing your bum cheeks at the top of your deadlift. That's the focus for the top of the deadlift. If you get that squeeze in, everything else will sort itself out. Oh, there it is. Yeah, receiving any assistance with the barbell is not permitted unless safety is an immediate concern. So I guess if it's rolling towards a small child or something. But if you've dropped the bar and then you've gone down to do a burpee and the barbell is rolling towards your own face, I'm not going to call that a safety concern. Oh, yeah, you may not wear gymnastic grips. When I saw the announcement I saw the start of the girls' workout this morning because we had the class when it was getting announced. So it says you can't wear gymnastic grips. And when I saw it was deadlifts, my first thought was, I wonder if I can wear gymnastic grips. You haven't been allowed to in years past, so anyway. But if you tear on deadlifts, I think it would be totally fine to be taping your hands. While they don't specifically mention deadlift straps, which feels like an oversight, I feel like deadlift straps for deadlifts would fall into the uncommon movement clause, which is this sort of overarching rule with the open. You just can't do any weird stuff, all right? If you think you're doing weird stuff, it's not allowed. So it came in a few years ago when people had to do burpees over the bar, and so they, instead of loading their bar with normal plates, they loaded it with like 1,000,000 small 1.25 and 2.5 kilo plates, so that their burpees were like this far from the ground. An entire gym did it, and we'll have to check the history files, but I think the whole gym got like a 3-year ban from being in the open. So there is a standard now saying, I think it's 18 inches for the diameter of the plates. Okay, bar face burpees. So you can see on here, oh, there you go, 18-inch plates, burpees performed, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so I guess reading that, you could sort of do like the strict version of the burpee with the push-up if you'd like. Head must stay behind the barbell. Yeah, that's sort of like if you go down and you're a bit close to the thing and you sort of might arch your head up. So I guess they're intentionally... Oh, is my face really that bright? Hang on, let me turn that down a little bit. That's a bit better. The intention would be that if your head's so high, your chest probably isn't properly on the floor. So just make sure you're not right on top of your barbell. Hands and feet must remain inside the width of the plates. No big deal. Oh, and that's the thing. I think that's where you've got to be a little careful. So there's a difference. The RX version is you have to jump, but you don't have to do a 2-foot jump. But you must have both feet off the floor at the same time as your center mass passes over the barbell. Yeah, so if for any reason, this is kind of like smashing into the box last week. If for any reason you trip over your bar, or if you like kick it and don't trip, that is a no rep. Now, the rep is credited, I'm just looking at the other side here. I think that means you would have to do the entire burpee again. Hang on, let's have a look at these. Oh, here you go. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Last dot point. If the athlete receives a no rep for any reason, the entire rep must be repeated. So if you just clip it with your shoe, don't even look at the judge. Just redo the burpee. In the scheme of things, we're talking about 5 seconds, and it's not worth your whole workout being under a cloud for the benefit of 5 seconds. Scorecard here, pretty straightforward. Judges, as you're which is everybody, but as you're judging, I would do little 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because as soon as they start breaking things up and taking a rest, you may get a bit lost where you were. So say you're in the 6s, for example, and they're doing the deadlifts and they do 3 or 4 and they put the bar down and they walk around, they chalk, and you get distracted by something over there and you look back and you're like, oh shit, did they do 3 or 4? So I would just mark each rep as you go, because these are relatively slow movements, all right? No one's like cranking them out, once we get past like the 4s or whatever. And we do have official scorecards this week, so, all right, welcome to my spreadsheet. So, you have a 10-minute time cap. I think that's the first time I've mentioned that, but you have a 10-minute time cap. If you use it all, you've got 600 seconds. So you've got 200 reps in the whole thing. So that's all the burpees and all the deadlifts combined. So that means you need to be holding 3 seconds per rep. 3 seconds is pretty quick. To give you an example, Justin Medeiros did it in like 7-ish. Okay, so about 450 seconds. He did his 200 reps. All right, so that puts him at about 2.25 seconds per rep averaged. And, obviously it's not universal. Like if you're doing 5 deadlifts, that's much quicker than doing 5 burpees. But let's just bear with me on these averages, okay? That's a finish, and that's Justin. Actually, let's just call him JM. Those are some pretty powerful initials, so I think we'll stick with that. Now, if Medeiros can do it that quick, I'm going to say that I could approximately, so that's me, we'll just use those initials. They're pretty good initials. So I'm going to do, if I'm feeling really good, I could do 4.25 averaged per rep, 600 seconds that I'll be working for. So 600 divided by that gives me 140 reps. So if we take that number there, 140, back to our sheet, where's that? So that, if I get that, that is, I'm in the 8s on the way back, all right? So if you've got a rough number in your mind on what you might average for those reps, or like where you think you are. So I think I'm roughly half as fast as Justin Medeiros. So there you go, more like 133. So that puts, all right, so here's earlier today when I gave this workout a bit of a bash. All right, come on, get to work, bro. Oh yeah, so there I was. I did the whole start and everything. What a good little Boy Scout. So I moved through, and as planned, I broke up deads from the 5s on the way up, and I broke up the 4s on the way down. And yeah, bro, that barbell got heavy. So what information did I get from that? Well, I got the following. I completed a total of 50 reps because I did 1 to 5 to 1. It took me 3 minutes 56. So what's that? 240 minus 4. So my 50 reps each cost me 4.68 seconds. Now, if I had to guess, I don't know. I'm not trying to make up excuses. I'm just trying to give like a fair representation of how I think the reps went. But anyway, let's say like I blew it all the way out to 5 seconds a rep, which, look, it could definitely happen. Hey, Manny. Which puts me down to 120 reps. All right, so 4.5 versus 5 seconds. And if we take that back to the scorecard, so that puts me from sort of almost getting through the 9s on the burpees versus, almost getting through or halfway through the 9 burpees versus halfway through the 8 deadlifts. I don't think I'm going to lose a ton of sleep over which one of those boxes I end up in, but I'm going to guess there, or maybe higher, like maybe it'll be crap out in the 10s somewhere. Back to the show. So I'm just going to kind of skim through here and see if anything jumps out as like super interesting. We might come back to them after they've had a few minutes to get fatigued and see how they handle it. Oh, that wasn't good. I think I just saw the girl in the green. What's her name? Emma Lawson. I think I saw her just standing there. That is not a good sign. Have a look at these knees on this deadlift. What do you think? These knees. I would say at best that is a soft knee. See, now when we come to this Lawson girl again, this is not a great camera angle because she's behind the plates, but those knees, it doesn't look like your knees could be locked out behind those plates. And if you look where this judge is, I don't think those eyes could even honestly tell what those knees are doing. Like, that's not a good position. We're in the camera, so if you look at that, the camera angle is just behind the plate, so the cameraman's probably about on this plane here. The judge is just there. I don't think the judge can see those knees. Now, to be clear, I am not saying that this girl is trying to cheat. Like, she's in a room with 500 people just watching the two of them work out. Obviously, she's not. But this is where you should really exaggerate to make sure that your stuff is beyond people going, meh. Yeah, Laura Horvath bending over a lot here, bro. She is feeling this. She's feeling this workout. Hey! Check it out. Laura stands with Ukraine. Oh, that's right, because Boz got announced as the guy last week, so he's not actually judging because he's Dave Castroing. Now, let's look at Laura's deadlifts. Let's see what we got going on. Yeah, they look good, but they look like she's suffering from that Josh Bridges thing. You know how the other year he got in trouble for his shoulders not being in front of the bar at lockout, which is like Deadlift 101. Let's slow it down and have a gander. And note, no hook grip on an undergrip. Good call, Laura Horvath. No, those shoulders look behind. Hang on, she's almost extended there. Or, I don't know, maybe it just, I don't know. When people are going really fast, I guess you got to ride the line a bit. Oh, that'd be super annoying if you start getting that one side, two side bounce like she's got there on the deadlift. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on the deadlifts for either of them. But hey, that's why I'm just snarky and not at open announcements. Oh, Laura finished. Boom. That's impressive, man. So Matt Fraser's just saying in the background, for this caliber of athlete, there is no pacing. So I think that just sends us right back to break up the deadlifts early and don't be afraid to take a breath on the burpees. But remember, you're trying to maintain an average seconds per rep. So really, you can't rest that much. And your chalk, like, you cannot stuff around with the chalk. You just need a small amount. And if your bar is chalked appropriately beforehand, you got to be chalking like twice the entire workout, maybe if that. I know a lot of us didn't even chalk at all during the workout last week. It's just not necessary, and that's for snatching. These are just deadlifts. It's so weird to see someone working out with, like, no-show socks. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Like, why would Horvath finish on that side of the bar and Medeiros finishes on the other side of the bar? Yes. Oh, where their chalk buckets are. That's what it'll be. So one of them has walked to a chalk bucket and returned to a different side of the barbell. As far as I can tell, there's no laws against that. Oh, okay. 7:58. Oh, well, this changes everything. So 7:58. So that's more like 8 minutes. So he's maintaining a 2.4. What a loser. Hurry up, bro. I don't know if you can hear that, but Medeiros' advice is to figure out your pace on the 1 to 10, and then just hold that pace. But I guess that's kind of like the advice I often give of just be stronger. So this workout looks pretty cool, in that it's one of those, like, everyone can do a version of this workout again, which is really what the Open is about these days. Gone are the days where you had to swim through this river with a sand. I'm looking forward to everyone making the most of it. If you're coming into the gym this evening, don't worry, down the bottom of the whiteboard we have some modifier options. So if you're doing the Open workout tomorrow morning, but you're also working out tonight, no big deal. Just take some of those modifications and you'll be fine. This video is not even 33 minutes. Yeah, I killed it, knocked it out of the park. It probably helps that I didn't actually watch the entire workout as I was sitting here this time. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I will see you in the morning.